All right, this project is called Dual Animal, and what we're going to be doing is combining two animals. Or in the past, I said no faces of humans, but let's go ahead and just say that that's allowed. So I'm going to do hmm, I'm going to do an orangutan. Let's see. I'm going to go into my Bing image search because I do tend to get a little bit better results and higher quality. And let's set the filter to set the image size to extra large. And there we go. Now, what I want to find here is probably a full body um, image, or one that's, not maybe too close up. So I'm looking for one that's maybe kind of facing on a little bit. That might work. I'll go ahead and copy this image, and I'm going to go into Photoshop and make a new um, composition with print and just choose landscape. And let's go ahead and paste that. All right, now it's got to be on the bottom because it's cut off there and it would look weird if it was hovering. So let me just resize it and I'll kind of use this whole area up. I resized it with Control T. And now let's go ahead and mask it off. Now the easiest way to do that is to go into our fourth object selection or quick selection, it doesn't really matter which, and just click select subject. And let the computer do the rest. Now I'm going to go ahead and just eliminate his arm here. Just focus on the face. And so I'm just going to use the object selection tool and just kind of use Shift and Alt to go back and forth to kind of clean this up. And it's not going to be perfect because this guy's pretty fuzzy, but I think I can work with this. So let's go ahead and mask it off, and we're left with that. Now you can see it's a little ragged, so I'm probably going to go into select and mask. Getting good at masking is a pretty good skill to learn. You could choose different colored backgrounds to kind of see what it looks like. I might want to see what it looks like on black, and you can change the opacity. So first off, let me try refine here and see if that helps. Not bad actually. Got a little bit an area here I don't want, but I can deal with that later. And maybe I'll shift the edge in a little bit. Maybe add a little bit of contrast. And let's go ahead and go with that. All right, that's not terrible. And then if I want to clean up this area, remember to just use black on the mask to erase and white to add. Okay, so now that we have that, let's go ahead and find a background for our orangutan, and he is going to be, let's see, I wonder if I can find Riverbank in Bing Images in high quality. Ooh, these are like actual riverbanks, not like Riverbank, California. Not Virginia, California. Well, not having much luck here, so let's go ahead and just pick the first one I see. And oh, my coffee's ready. That's wonderful. Go ahead and copy this, and we're going to paste it. Oh, sometimes that happens. It takes a little bit of time for this to get onto the clipboard. This time I have to do it a couple times. And I'm just using Alt to draw it from the center, which is kind of a nice little trick. If you don't hold down Alt, it goes like this. So Alt will just pull it right from the center. And make sure you don't leave any areas exposed on the sides. Also, do not stretch your image, ever. Now let's go ahead and put that on the bottom. And we can see that this orangutan does not look like he is actually at this location because the colors are just totally off. So I'm going to use an adjustment layer. And that's this little circle right here. And let's go ahead and just go into our color balance. And the thing is, whatever I do, it's going to affect every layer. So click on this button right here. And that'll only apply to the layer below. So if we say, you know what, we just need to go a little bit maybe more like kind of green in our tone and just kind of play with these sliders to see if I can get the colors to just match the scene a little bit better. Okay. So this is without it and this is with it. You can see that now the colors kind of match this more kind of reddish look. It's a little bit more natural. I could also do an adjustment layer where I maybe adjust it with exposure. And we could go like a little brighter. And again, click on this button to only affect the layer below. You could play with all three of these to maybe get something that you feel like feels like it kind of belongs a little bit more in this environment. So this is without it and this is with it. Okay. Cool. So, and if you feel like maybe that's too intense, you could pull the opacity down of that layer so it has a little less of an impact. Maybe I overdid it, so I just pull it down a bit. But yeah, I think it's definitely looking better. Now let's go ahead and create a new layer now. And let's combine it with something. So I'm going to go to Bing Images, and what do I want to put on this guy's face? Well, it's got to be something that's kind of facing the same direction, so kind of staring ahead. And it's better if it's maybe an animal that you're going to be able to blend. So it's kind of tricky to do this part, but let's go ahead and I'm just going to go with the bear. And let's see, could I get a bear's face on here? Maybe. Let's give it a shot. I'm going to need one that I can see the full face. This one was cut off a little bit. Gosh, could I work with that one? Nah, let's get one that's completely in focus too. And the lighting should be kind of similar if you can. If you can make all these factors, it's going to make your life a little easier. Okay, well, just for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and just go with this one. All right, so let's copy that image and paste it right on here. Oh, and then once again, it takes a little bit of time sometimes to copy our image. Come on, you can do it. There we go. So I'm going to pull the opacity down, and I'm going to scale this up until it's approximately the same size. And I'll kind of be looking at the face, the ears, and the eyes in particular to make sure it scales up to about the same size. All right. That seems about right. Let's go ahead and now what I'm going to do is add a mask onto this layer, and I'm going to use a black mask, which means I'm just going to bucket fill it black. And now, ooh, that's a little overexposed. Let's pull that back. Okay. Now I'm going to use white paint with a nice soft round brush to paint in this bear's face. I think I'm going to move it down a little bit. You can see that some areas of that will now show up. So let me just quickly get rid of those with some black paint. Looks like we got some on this side too. All right, so let's see. I think I need to scale this guy up a little bit more. And then as far as getting it to blend, I'm going to, with the soft round brush, just kind of get these edges over here to kind of come together. All right, and let's get some of this color from the orangutan onto the bear. And I'm going to do that by going to the orangutan layer, using Alt to get the color picker. Then I'm going to make a new layer on top of this bear. I'm just going to paint in that color. Now, if you remember in the past, we've used a clipping mask, layer, create clipping mask, to only apply to the layer below. Let's set the blend mode to maybe color. Let's pull the opacity down so it's a little less intense of an effect. And it still feels like it's a little small, doesn't it? Let me take both these layers with shift, select them both, and let's go a little bigger on that. Kind of feel like it should have ears, but I'm not going to mess with that right now. So there is our monstrosity, our bear-like orangutan. And if you want to take some time to kind of blend this a little bit, maybe pull the flow down and just see if you can kind of get some features of maybe both of these things. I don't think that's going to work because this guy's eyes are right there. So I'll just use white to bring him back. Maybe just kind of blend him right there. Okay. There is our Oringa bear. And we're done. I don't think I really need to adjust the exposure on this, but if I wanted to, I could also come in and maybe pull the exposure down on the bear, play with some of these settings. But I think it's already about right. I could even go in and adjust the color balance and maybe play with trying to get the colors to match a little bit better with that kind of orange color. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that. All right, when you're done, just export it as a PNG.